And we are live again with live reality games here on Facebook and on YouTube. Everyone, thanks for joining tonight. We have a special promotion going on. If we get to, not if, when we get to 500 people, we'll be giving away a free buff here, or 2, or maybe 5. So hey, make sure you hit that subscribe, that like button, wherever you're watching now, and let us know in the comments how awesome live reality games is. I mean, seriously, we have the production team from the Michigan Mole Season 1 that just wrapped up about a week ago. We have some special guests later tonight. But first of all, we just want to say hey to production, and hey, thank you so much for all the videos and stuff. We really appreciate catching up with live games, especially after last year not being able to do them. Allison, you were one of the videographers, I guess you could say. How was videotaping this whole thing, Allison?
It was very entertaining. I've definitely never done anything like that before, so it was really interesting to kind of get in that groove and get right in there and keep up with everything that was going on. So one of them got a little long, and that one was kind of interesting, but other than that, it was a lot of fun. So it was really cool just getting to actually see everything. So I had a blast. I hope everybody else enjoyed it too.
I had a blast from your catching up with us, Allison. Allison, you would start to stream, and then after maybe a few minutes, you were like, all right, folks, here's what's really going on now that you're tuning in. That was super appreciative and really great, like, as a commentator. Zach, another one of our video people. Zach had a few shout outs in the audience. Ever thought about podcasting in the future, Zach?
Oh, no, but that sounds pretty cool.
You were specifically on the person that got eliminated, right? Were some of those hard to interview as they got voted out, or just eliminated per se, not really voted out?
Definitely. I kind of took a hold of the exit interviews. And with our first season, we tried it in one space and then moved it to another space the next day. And it was like, oh, the echo's horrible in the garage. Let's move it to another space. So I really liked where I ended because it was like they were leaving the house, sitting on the stairs and like reflecting. So I just thought that was a pretty cool moment there. And but yeah, running around with the camera for an hour for one challenge and up hills with Hannah for another. It definitely got my workout in. Not anticipated, but it was definitely fun.
Now, to other people that were on production on site, Tyler and Shane are joined here together as they came in helping out the game. Hi, you two.
Hi.
Remind me, which one of you had never done anything like this before?
That was me.
How was your experience of a live reality game?
It was definitely just what I expected it to be, honestly. It was a lot of fun, meeting everybody, the whole entire cast, all of production, like everyone really welcomed me with open arms. So it was really easy to just, blend in basically and do my job and make good food. I hope everyone enjoyed it. So it seemed like everyone did. So it was really, really awesome to be a part of a live org, and we're looking forward to doing it in the future. So yeah.
Fantastic. How was the food? Did you do a good job, everyone? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Nice job.
Yay.
All right. Now, someone who wasn't able to make it on stage as much, we have a few shout outs from the audience. First of all, Kirk says he loved that Zach was chasing him around. Got some exercise at least. Good job.
He was so fun to chase around. So
fun. Kirk also says the food was great. Hospitality was great. So nice job, everyone.
Thank you, Kirk.
It was so great that Allison was like, I got to go back and greet some more people. So, hey, she'll be joining us shortly again. Drew says he misses all of you. So, hey.
Aww. We all miss you.
Someone that wasn't able to attend in person this year was Matt. Matt, how was it like watching this event go on while you were back home in Canada?
It was kind of bittersweet. I feel like it was sad that I couldn't be there and help them and be involved and see all the cast and whatnot, but at the same time it was kind of nice that I could kind of just chill and watch from the sidelines and help where I could. And since they're running around doing everything that they're doing, it was nice to have something to do on the side while they were doing all that. So it was kind of chill, but it would have been nice to be there. So
Yeah, having worked for Survival Challenge remotely a few years ago and then going on site and helping out, I was still able to find lots of stuff to do working remotely. There's always a post to share, someone's asking a question to get back to them. So really, like, the remote job is really integral as well. So yeah. But the person that was kind of running the whole show got your clipboard and all your notes and demanding people to get back into that room. Courtney, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic tonight. That was such an experience. And honestly, Tyler and Shane bought those clipboards that we could like close everything up into. And that was the single best purchase of the entire thing.
Yes.
we love a clipboard.
Yes.
So Courtney, a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. How did everything go? Like, how was it? Like, culminize this event, I guess. I don't think that's a word, but make something up.
It was a little bit more than I think any of us had really expected. Even though, a few of us had been in live games, we didn't realize, every little thing that went into it. So it was mentally, kind of emotionally, physically draining at times, but super rewarding. And I think it went better than we could have hoped for our first game. I had an exit plan. If it went terribly, if it tanked, I was going to delete my Facebook and never talk to anyone ever again. But thankfully, I didn't have to do that.
I was like, I think you saw Facebook, and of course, you're here talking with us tonight, so super appreciative, and it went over great. Like,
yep. And I didn't have to leave the house with a note that said "Good luck,"
which has happened to me so many times in the past.
Let's see here, Courtney. Any challenges that you want to point out that just like went fantastic? That was like, I'm really glad we put that on. Like, what was your favorite to host? I guess.
I think one of my favorites, despite the drama that happened, if it was executed properly, I think the blackjack challenge was a really good one. I really felt good about that one when I was thinking it up too. There's several that we would not do again, or at least change, or add time limits. I think. What does everyone else think? Because that was my favorite. Was blackjack.
I love
Kurt chiming in at he really liked the logic problem. So, Zach,
I really liked the egg drop challenge. I think watching the two teams come up with two similar but completely different ideas was very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Another shout
I agree with Kirk. I like the logic puzzle.
Yeah, that's one we would add time limits for sure.
Yeah, I'm a bit biased, but I like the one where they had to find me because it was like,
hunt.
ooh, yeah, like that was kind of cool. You get to watch them like running around looking for pictures of me on, inappropriate things. But yeah, that was fun. I like watching them run around looking for stuff. That was a good one for the viewers, I think.
It was super fun. We had a lot of comments coming in on that too, watching the live stream. I know Destiny couldn't join us at the moment, but I'm sure she'll be in as soon as possible. If she does get around to it, she was actually one of like the biggest fans of the Michigan Wolf. She was watching nonstop and great audience participation. I remember a few people were shouting out that it was hilarious. They just wanted to see Kirk run around randomly nowhere. So that was the highlight. Another highlight, I think, and I don't know if you're going to replicate this in next season, which we'll get to, but this cast, like Travis said, was just the bee's knees. Like, this cast was so in-depth and so many great game players, and it was just fantastic to watch all these superstars, which we're joined here tonight with two of our superstars, which we'll get to shortly. But it was just great to watch. Shane, did you get to meet anybody special this weekend that you were looking forward to? Did you know anybody?
I mean, obviously the one person I really wanted to meet was Matt, and he wasn't there. So no. Honestly, like, I didn't really have anyone in mind that I was like, oh, I need to meet you. I just the whole entire cast was phenomenal, and I think we definitely expressed that while we were there and during our like closing remarks. Because honestly, like, each and every one of us was nervous about, obviously having our first game and not really knowing what to get into. And the cast was so welcoming, and the remarks that they gave us, like in terms of bettering the game in the future, like we cannot ask for a better group of people to give us advice and to, start this, hopefully, the game that will continue for many years to come. We honestly could not have asked for a better group of people to start this whole tradition off. So we're all so remarkably grateful for everybody.
Quick shout outs here. Mary Beth says sorry she couldn't join. She's at a campfire tonight, which it's okay. Like, enjoy your Memorial Weekend, folks. Like, so glad you're at a campfire and getting out and kind of doing something. Carol says hi, Drew. So hey.
Hey, Carol.
Allison, you're kind of in like the org community as it is. Was there any names that you were looking forward to meeting and that you got to meet?
First off, I loved every single person I met there. They were all phenomenal. There were a few I knew right off the bat that I knew I would get along with. I felt like Missy was one of those people. I felt like Drew was going to be one of those people. Hannah, Sabrina, and then just a couple of the people that I did the interviews for when we did applications from like 2 years ago. Like, I was like, at this point, it had taken so long to meet them. So I was like, I have to meet this person. And it was just amazing. Everybody was awesome and super welcoming, especially when they had no idea who I was. So everybody was awesome. And in general, there was nobody there that I would not gladly watch in another game.
Drew says, aw, love meeting you. Well,
yes, I loved meeting you too, Drew.
Someone that I haven't quite met yet. She became the runner-up of the season. We're going to hide a few of the production members and welcome our runner-up of the season. So bear with me just a moment. Courtney and Matt will help me interview. So our runner-up of the Michigan Mole Season 1 is Hannah. Welcome, hey! Hannah.
Woo! Hannah Banana.
So glad. Just watching your gameplay, Hannah, was so fun, and to see you work out like the problems and make alliances what you could, and I could just tell like you were working with some people really strongly and getting some advice and some knowledge.
No,
and
I
trying
wasn't
to
doing
figure
any
out
of that.
What? Really? You were taking it amazingly.
I didn't do any of that. I really, as soon as the game started, there was immediately just 2 alliances. And then it felt like some people were getting left out. And I hate seeing people left out. So then I decided to not be in an alliance and just be friends with everyone.
Was that your strategy, like, going into this? Was like, I'm just going to try to make my own strategy?
Yeah, I was going to make my own. I hadn't honestly watched the show, so I did not know what I was expecting. I was just going to go in. And I had my friends that I figured I would work with. But ultimately, I was kind of a lone ranger.
You've never played the Mole before. What made you sign up?
Attention.
Love the truth bombs.
Yeah.
Hannah, honestly, the first thing I watched with you was the Ultimate Challenge, or I think you played this like way back when. And I was like, who is this person with the kitty cat ears? Like, I'm a fan already. So I'm so glad that you have like transitioned from that way back when and to still playing live games now. What's your experience right now of live games in general?
I adore live games, like not even like the attention thing. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy like there's so many people from different walks of life you never would have talked to if it weren't for these situations throwing you together. So you get to meet so many people, lifelong friends, and the games are kind of just a side benefit. They're really fun and they're fun experiences, but I think it's relationships that make me want to do this the most.
Courtney, was this an easy cast? Did you see Hannah's name pop up and you were like, Hannah on the cast? How was casting Hannah?
I've actually played with her before, and even though that in that game it started out rocky, we definitely like turned that around, and she's just such a bubbly personality. It was easy to say yes.
Matt, you didn't get the opportunity to go there. I know I keep reiterating. I'm sorry to like get that knife in and twist it. I'm sorry. What did you think of Hannah's gameplay, or what did you want to see from her watching from afar?
To be honest with you, I knew before even starting the game that Hannah was going to kill it. I've met Hannah, and I know how much people love her, and everyone gravitates towards her just because of her personality, and she's super sweet and kind, and I think people feel like they can talk to her. They open people up. She opens people up and make them vulnerable, and I think Hannah's a great game player, and I had no doubt that she was going to make it far in this game. So,
but it sounds like Hannah, you had a little bit of doubt yourself, not playing or not knowing the mole before coming into it. Did you do any kind of research? Did you watch? Did you look at the Sparks notes at least?
No, I mean, I talked to some people and I like found out what the general thing is. Like they told me to try to do the first few quizzes in the majority so you don't get eliminated. So I understood that, and I felt like that was enough to go into it.
And all the way to get to the end.
Yeah, that shocked me. I just didn't want to be like first day.
Stacy is tuning in. She says she agrees with your aspect of the relationships are really the strong thing in live reality games. That's really the bonding feature and something great to take out of them. Whether you get out first, whether you make it to the end, it's all about the friendships and everything that you get throughout these games. Hannah, we were talking earlier with some of the production members about maybe favorite challenges, and some people in the comments chimed in. What was your kind of favorite challenge of the Michigan Mole?
So as soon as you asked production that, I was like ready, and I had my notebook here from the game, and I was like, all right, let me remember. So my favorite one was definitely the charades one we did. Just because I like charades. And Drew's acting out was just hilarious, and he's like, but, yeah, it was a cute challenge.
It was fun to watch, that's for sure.
So Hannah, I'm curious, like, since you said you weren't really having much of a strategy, what does your notebook look like? Were you taking pretty good notes, or were you just kind of, you don't need to share it, but what was your note-taking style like? Yeah.
I mean, I had notes on everyone's shirt colors every day, and I did have all your first and last names, your ages, what city and state you lived in, and your agent name. And I had what place everyone went during the challenges, like what order and what groups you were in, and if someone got it right or wrong. I did take good notes.
Now, at the end, when people were getting eliminated, did you ever doubt yourself and doubt who you thought the mole was? Did you know right away? Yeah?
No, yeah. So first, I wasn't sure who the mole was. I think I was going with majority. And then I had my sights dead set on Ryan. I'm like, it's him. I know it's him. We're supposed to run, and he's wearing flip-flops. It has to be him. And then he got eliminated. And I was like, well, gosh darn it, there's that. And so I was like, well, then it's Sarah. Because I heard like Sarah like throwing my name under the bus. And I'm like, I don't give any mole vibes. I think I'm a sweetheart. I don't think anyone suspect me as a mole. So the fact that someone tried to say I was a mole made me think they were the mole. So I was really set on Sarah, and then she got eliminated. And finally we got to Nick.
We're getting a few chime-ins. It sounds like we might have another guest coming on before we get to our winner. But we'll get to them shortly. If they do hop on, we'll try to play this by ear and get them in when we can if they have a break at work. But Hannah, anything that you kind of regret in the game? You didn't win, but winning's not all the battle anyways. There's something you wish you would have done differently?
No, I don't think so. I liked it.
Courtney, anything from a production side that you were wondering from Hannah?
Just that, it came down to the wire. I mean, at that last quiz, you like pushed back and you're like, oh, that was harder than I thought. And I was just like, oh no, Hannah. But still, you guys both got perfect scores. And it just came down to like 30 seconds, which was so impressive. And like, we're very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Killed it. I'm not surprised. And I was like, as soon as I heard that it came down to time, I'm like, well, it could literally be anyone's game at this point. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I knew I'd lost. I was the first to take the quiz, and I was checking my watch, being the only person who wears a watch in the house. By the way, everyone buy watches. You should have a watch in life. Okay. So I was checking the time, counting down. I was like, oh, darn it. Her time was faster than mine. So I knew that was it.
Great words to live by. Thank you very much, Hannah. We'll pop back to you when we circle back around. So thanks, Hannah. Just hang out backstage, and we'll see you in a little bit. Now, this game wouldn't be complete without the mole. The mole is an integral part to play in any mole game. Casting, Courtney and Matt, what were your thoughts? Like, Matt, did you have much to say since you weren't there, or what was going through your head when casting the mole?
To be completely honest with you, like, we were literally back and forth with who we wanted to be the mole. I think, I'm sure we're allowed to say this by this point, but we actually had our original mole that we had in mind couldn't make it. So we ended up having to pick another person to be the mole. But yeah, it was kind of down to the wire. Like, literally, nobody told anybody who the mole was. Like, we said that we weren't going to tell the mole that they were the mole until literally the day of, and that's kind of what happened. So we didn't want anything to get leaked or accidentally spilled or people asking questions, or, you know what I mean? So that was definitely the goal, was to make sure that even the mole didn't know they were the mole until the time came. So.
And even the people on the Michigan Mole production didn't know that the mole actually chimed in right here. Hey! We're joined with Nick.
Hello!
The mole of Michigan Mole Season 1. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, a lot, kind of getting back to normal life and, hanging out, getting work in, and I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What were your thoughts going through your head when Courtney, I'm assuming it was Courtney, been like, Benner, will you be our mole?
I kind of so I went upstairs. We were all kind of partying, hanging out downstairs, and I was like, let me go upstairs. I was like, let me run to the bathroom real quick, because we had a really nice bougie bathroom in the bedroom right off the corner of my bedroom. So I was like, let me go use the bougie bathroom. And I came out, and Courtney and Tyler were kind of standing there. They're like, we need to talk to you. And I jokingly was like, unless you're going to tell me that I'm the mole, I don't want to hear it. And
so then they were like, you better hear this.
And they were like, you're the mole. And I was like, shit. I was like, oh God. I was like, I didn't expect it. I was mostly joking. I didn't really expect to be the mole. I didn't go in with a mindset of what I'm going to do to be the mole. I've watched other mole series and I've been like, okay, this is what I would do if I was the mole. But coming in, I thought they'd already picked a mole, and I thought I was going to just come in as a normal agent. So coming in and having them be like, yeah, you're the mole. And I was like, oh God.
So having watched the mole, and like you said, you were like, oh, I'm going to do this if I'm the mole. What was your biggest thing you did as the mole, you would say?
It was difficult to you see the mole and they're, in other places, and you see how they sabotage. I didn't really get that opportunity, but kind of my mindset going in is if I can keep the people I'm close to or the people I'm aligned with in the game, it's going to throw off people, because a lot of people are going to think that your allies or the people that you're closest to are going to go early, because they're not going to assume that's you. They're not going to guess that you're the one that's a mole. So if I can do what I can, link close to somebody, in this case, Ben Wood was the person I kind of stuck really close to, and told my allies hey, I think it's Ben. So I would try to wear the same color shirt as Ben. I would try to be in the same group as Ben. So then when my allies were answering questions thinking it was Ben, they were unknowingly answering the questions to me, but they thought they were answering the questions to somebody else, but it still kept them in the game. And that was kind of my biggest thing, is keeping a lot of my allies. I think the only ally that I lost going into day 2 was Jerica, unfortunately. But all of my other like really close allies, a lot of the people I was really working closely with, I was able to help make it all the way to day 2 just by giving them just enough information to like point to another person, but not necessarily point to me, without giving away that it was me who was the mole.
Now, Benner, were you kind of disappointed that you were the mole, or would you have rather been a player in the end?
I think it was fun to be the mole. Like, I'm very thankful that they had enough faith in, like, production had enough faith in me to be the mole. So like, I don't want to disparage like the game aspect of being the mole. But I definitely came in thinking that, you know, I was just going to be an agent, like, kind of outside of the game, but like I made, you know, plans of like, oh, I don't know how long I'll be in this game, you know, like maybe I'll hang out with some people I know from Michigan, stuff like that. But I think it would have been fun to be an agent and kind of see how my gameplay would work in that sense, because I was very excited to kind of put my detective hat on and figure out who the mole was. And it kind of, being the mole put me in a situation of just kind of like, all right, I'm playing this game, but I'm playing a completely different game than the 18 other people that are here right now.
Well, speaking of playing the game, did you ever take the quizzes yourself?
Yeah, I took every single quiz.
Courtney, how do you do?
I did great.
100%.
Okay, good job.
They were all about me. There was a couple questions that I would look at Courtney and I was like, what did I do? I was like, where was I? Like, was I the 6th person? Was I the 5th? You know, there was a couple questions that I would look at Courtney and I was like, I don't even remember what I did. So
we kind of asked Hannah a series of questions about her live game experience. What's been like the biggest takeaway for you, Benner, having played a few live games before?
Having played a few live games, I've played a lot of like the Aunt Jackie production games, so like the Mayhem Manor and then Shady Survivor, where, you know, being kind of that problematic, loud personality, you know, isn't necessarily like negative. And this was kind of like that first game where like I was loud, I was problematic, and I was like yelling at people, and that's just kind of like the mindset that I've gone into a lot of live games being. Like, that's kind of the person I am. And this was kind of the first game where it was like, it wasn't necessary for me to do that, but I still did it. And there's a lot of like parts to me, like a good amount of like me like driving home and stuff that I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you being that loud? Why are you screaming at people? There's no reason for that in this kind of a setting, especially with being the mole. I didn't need to yell at people. I could have just blended in and, you know, played the game that way. So the live game experiences that I've had are very, very different than this kind of live game. I
guess we asked Hannah earlier if she had any regrets or anything she would have done differently. Would that be something you'd say you would do differently?
Oh, 1000%. Like, there was no reason. I think the biggest thing that I regret and the biggest thing that like I'm kicking myself for and like really reflecting on is like the fight that I had with Joey. There was no reason I needed to fight for exemption. I wasn't getting eliminated on that quiz. So that's definitely 100% my biggest like regret, because I feel like kind of that fight with Joey is really what spiraled a lot of the things that I am kind of ashamed of. So that's definitely like something that I regret and I wish I could take back. But at the end of the day, like, you can't go back to the past and take stuff back. Like, you just have to learn from those experiences and like learn from those missteps or like kind of falls, so to speak, and bring them into the next live game or whatever it is, even not even live game, maybe it's even into work. you know, you got to kind of take those experiences and learn from them. And
Mhm.
that was definitely something that I 1000% regret and wish I could take back.
Well, speaking of work, I know that you are at work, so really appreciate you hanging out the mole, but I know you probably have to get back, and we're getting a little bit of
Yes.
feedback. But,
I'm-
anyway, does that fix it? I think so. Yep. All right. Benner, thanks, and we'll see you later.
Bye, Nick.
All right, now the person that knows the most about Nick here, by no fault of themselves, but definitely quizzed out of 10 out of 10, got everything right, and had been getting it right for a while. Maybe we'll find out soon. But the person that knows Benner or the mole the best would be our winner of Michigan Mole Season 1, Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina.
Hi.
Hi, Sabrina.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay. Not one win, but like you have 2 live reality game wins that we know of under your belt. How does it feel?
Great. It's super exciting. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but it feels really good.
Actually, isn't it 3?
Is it 3?
Didn't you win totem pole? No? Okay.
I got 3rd place in totem pole. I mean, it's a finale, but I didn't win. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was 3.
I wish.
Josh's game. Josh won that one.
Yes.
Josh Calhoun. With not like you did, Brad. We talked about this last time. Sabrina was on when we did the totem pole, which is now the penthouse, the interview, and that's really where I kind of met Sabrina. Besides watching her on Big Brother Columbus, which Sabrina, great game player. Like, I'm sorry to say, like you were going to have a target from here on out, no matter what.
I know. I'm like, damn it! I need to take a break.
Are you worried about playing another game per se? I know a lot of alumni go into games thinking they have a big target, but Sabrina, you're like one of the biggest targets now.
Honestly, like it sounds really like conceited to say like I think I might have a target on my back, but like I really think I do. When it comes to like a social strategy game, like if I were to play one of those next, I definitely think I would have a hard time. Hopefully not, but I mean, because I'm not playing any more games until next year because I'm getting married at the end of the year, and so I need to like save all my money and stuff, and like so maybe that'll be enough time.
Congratulations on your getting married as well. Look at that. Hannah in the back too. She says Sabrina's full on queen or royalty. I'm not quite sure what that is, but either way, for sure.
Absolutely, Sabrina killed it, and once again, not surprised at how she played the game and got to the end and won. Like I personally watched her play Columbus, and I'm social queen, butterfly. So getting all the information, I was not surprised to see her get this far or to the end. So,
Sabrina, you typically go for like the social aspect in a game. Was that something you were planning on to use in the mole as well?
Yeah, because whenever I played Victory House, like that was 2 months ago. Yeah, that was 2 months ago. And so honestly, I think playing that one really helped me with this one because it gave me a little bit of like an idea of what strategy to use or like go towards. And I knew that like when I went into playing a mole game, I originally thought it was like you were just by yourself, like it was all on you, like nobody else, like it's just your own like, you know, observations. But like it quickly like came to me like you really do need other people's observations because you might have had something in your journal that like somebody else doesn't have and they have something else, and so you trade information, or like you really like it's easier to bounce ideas off of other people than it is just to focus like internally, like at least for me. And so I knew coming into this game like I would do the same thing where I would want to, you know, talk to as many people as possible to get as much information as possible, and then from there I could deduce my own thoughts of like who I think I need to be putting like answers towards.
Were you ever in a position where you thought people might be lying to you about the information? Like, how did you go about that?
I knew that, like, even though Like, I had played with some people before, I had met some of these people before, even if people I didn't know. Like, I knew, like, to not fully trust 100% somebody, like, or, like, any of the cast, because, like, that's just how the game goes, because, like, anybody could be the mole. And so that was my mindset already coming into it. So I already took every single piece of information as a grain of salt, unless it was, like, a challenge-based, like, piece of information. So like if like whatever the order was, or like, yeah, what people did in this part of the challenge. So every other piece of information, if somebody thought somebody was the mole, like I wasn't like, oh yeah, definitely, and like would go along with it. Like I would make sure to like compare everybody else's answers and pretty much figure out which one's the oddball or which one doesn't work. And then know that those who were probably lying, like that they were not correct.
One of Zach's exit questions, and I don't know if he's asked you quite yet, but when he interviewed people when they got eliminated, who was your first thought about the mole? Like, who could it have been?
Oh, I thought it was either Ben or Evan. And those were people I was like working very closely with at the very beginning of the game. So for me, I was like, okay, keep them closer. But I already knew I wanted to work with them in the first place because I met them both at Victory House. And so I loved Evan immediately. I loved Jamie and Ben. And so I wanted to like be close with them regardless. But knowing like them in general, their personalities, like I know they're really good at they're just good at playing. Like they're great game players. So I could see any of them being the mole. And so for me, like I know Evan likes to sabotage and stuff, but I was like, maybe it's just the obvious choice. And then with Ben, I was like, that's the non-obvious choice. And I was like, I know he's super, super intelligent. And then I know Jamie's great at being, observing things and stepping back and taking a look at everything going on. And so I know they would have a lot of information too. So I was like, I wonder. So yeah, for me, like, I think my first legitimate, like full on target that I thought it was Evan. So when he left early, that was really shocking to me because I know a lot of people were on the same train of that. They thought it was him. So him leaving was definitely rough. And then after that, I thought it was Kirk, like 1000%. I thought it was him. Like I was so like zoned in on him. And yeah, so whenever he left too, I was like, what is going on? I was so confused. I was so confused. Like, because I didn't understand how to go there in the game because I had put 100% of my answers on Kirk for like 2 rounds in a row and I was still in the game. So I guess I guess it just happened to be that like those answers, were on Nick as well. So yeah, that was crazy to me. I was like,
A quick little shout out here. Ben says, love you.
Oh, I love you, Ben. You're the best.
Sounds like Zach and production was just as shocked when you stayed in. Courtney, behind the scenes, like how close was Sabrina for leaving the game?
Well, actually, a little announcement. I just posted player scores. So it's on our page if you want to go take a look at that.
Awesome.
But there was a couple rounds that were really, really, really scary. In fact, round 14, right before the finale, if one of the gentlemen had answered one question more correctly, like you were gone. Like, that one really worked in your favor and Hannah's favor. So
I definitely messed that one up. Like that was luck for me because the question I answered, there was 2 very similar answers, and Drew and Ben answered one way, and I answered the other way, which happened to be the correct answer, and that's why they left, and I didn't. And I was just like, ugh. Like, oh my God.
At which point did you realize it was Nick?
Whenever Peyton and Missy left is when that's kind of where I started to zone in on that because they put all of their answers in on Ben and they told me that before they took the quiz. And so my suspect was either Ben or Nick because I kept a tally sheet in my journal of after every single quiz, as soon as the quiz was over with, I'd write down every single quiz question and answer that I answered. Then I would put down every single cast member's name. And then I would go to each question. Question number 1, are they male, female, or are they them? So then I would check off, whichever one I answered, I would check off which person it applied to. So tally. And I'd do that for every single question. And then so I would see which ones had a lot of tallies, which one didn't. So I could eliminate each person that wasn't the mole. And so when I got to like the midpoint of the game, a lot of my answers were super consistent with Ben and Nick. And they were consistent for like from halfway on, which makes sense now because what Nick was saying that him and Ben were kind of collaborating a little bit on like what to do to keep things like the same for them. And so whenever Peyton and Missy left, knowing that they put all of their answers on Ben specifically, I was like, okay, well, the only person left here is probably Nick. And so then I just kind of went from there.
Fair enough.
Quick little shout out for Victory House here. Sabrina mentions that she was on season 3. Victory House will be premiering pretty soon. I think they released the date, and I hope not I'm spoiling anything, but June 28th is the release date. So everyone be tuning in. We'll have coverage and we'll do all the interviews and stuff. So Sabrina, you're probably going to be hanging out with me again. Maybe winner's seat, maybe not. We'll see here soon. How have these live games affected you, Sabrina? We asked it to both Benner and Hannah before.
These live games are definitely like I mean, obviously, like most people playing these games, like you grow up on live, reality competitions, like in general on TV. Like I loved The Mole as a kid. That was one of my first experiences of watching TV, and like Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, on and on and on. Everybody else has the same rap sheet, but I had no idea this world existed in the slightest, like no clue. I wish I would have known about it earlier. Like I didn't really get into it until 2019 with Big Brother Columbus, because my really good friend Cal Gates, who is on season 6, was like, hey, I'm doing this like fan like Big Brother game. I was like, what are you talking about? And so whenever he played it, I watched it. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. He's like, yeah, you should apply. Like try it out. So after getting into that, then I was introduced to the org community. And then through that, I was like, okay, well, there's more of these games I can play. Like, oh, let's keep going. And for me, like, I totally agree with what Hannah said, and that like there's people that you would have never met in this world if you weren't playing these games. And I really, really appreciate that, because I think it's such an important opportunity to expand your horizons and who you like, get to know and meet and hang out with and learn from. And so that's been, I think, a great like character building process too. And I've just really enjoyed everybody's company and every person that I've met so far. And not just cast, but like production and people like you, Dustin, who do like these podcasts. And like, I don't know, it's just been a really awesome part of my life and something that I've found to be like really passionate about, which is really cool, because I don't really have like a lot of hobbies. So this, I guess I can consider this a hobby.
This takes enough of your time, right?
Pretty much, yeah. But no, I've really, really enjoyed the experiences I've had so far, and I can't wait to have more. So like, this has been so awesome. I love that these games exist. They're so cool.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was so close to even just driving over, just hopping by and just to meet you. You were still in the game, so I was waiting till the very end. But of course, it happens. Sabrina was on my list to meet for sure. And a lot of the contestants were. This was such a great cast.
So good.
Victory House Season 3 also has a really great cast too. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like Brent will be watching at home too. So Brent, if you ever want to hop in, maybe interview somebody on their exit, you let us know. You're more than welcome to come back on here and hang out with one of us and Victory House people. So, hey.
I'm excited for that too.
Courtney, any questions for Hannah? Sabrina here?
No, I'm just
Hannah's here too still.
Yes.
I'm just so impressed with how you went through each question and eliminated people. Like you're one of the players I was looking most forward to playing. It's just being so analytical. And realizing that you have to make those social connections too to verify information, and also maybe to find out, where were their answers, and if they're eliminated, obviously, they're off somehow. So yeah. I loved having you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You did end up winning, but we know winning isn't everything. Anything that you would want to change about your experience on the Michigan Mole?
It sounds kind of weird, but like I talked to Drew about this, about how we both kind of wish, not that we were eliminated earlier, but like that we had more of a chance to like kind of chill and hang out with the other cast members. Cause like, yes, we had that first night, which was so much fun. But like throughout the days when people got eliminated, they were like going and hanging out and like going to do stuff in town and like just getting to know each other better. And so to be in the game again, which is the point of, for me, like of course I want to play to win, but I also want to play to meet these people. And so for me not to get the full chance to like really hang out with all these people in the cast kind of sucked. So that's like the only thing. I know it sounds weird to say that, but yeah, that was like the only thing that I was like, I wish I could have gotten like both experiences at the same time of like really getting to know people, but also playing the game.
That sounds like we just have to take a weekend and we all just like meet up here in Michigan again, right? Same.
would love that. I really would. Michigan was really pretty. Like I've never been there before, so that was actually really nice.
I mean, I'd be down. I didn't get to go, so I'd love to come this time.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. People that can't see it, but all of our background production members, Zach, Hannah, Tyler, and Shane, and Allison, were like, yeah, of course, hangout time. So,
yes. As soon as the border opens up, I'm going to come visit. So.
Yes.
Sabrina, anything in your future coming up game-wise besides we talked about Victory House? You have a wedding. Was there anything else that you did maybe last year that we're looking forward to?
Unfortunately, no. Last year was just Penthouse, which we wrapped up season 4 filming. So that will be coming out soon. We don't have a premiere date yet, but that should be soon. So look forward to that. And then, Victory House in June. And then next year is when I'll hop back on. I'd like to do either a Survivor game or Mayhem. It's like my 2 I'm thinking of right now. So I don't know 100% what I'm going to do yet, but I'm definitely going to be back next year.
And we are looking forward to it. And looking forward to maybe another win too, a trifecta.
That'd be awesome.
Well, let's have everyone just hop on here for real quick to show everyone still in the background here. Hey, everyone, the Michigan Mall season 1. Yay!
I wanted to say something amazing. Is that top 3 was our bedroom, me, Sabrina, Joel. We're the only people in the bedroom on the same shuttle, and that was the production made that happen.
Yes, that was so great. Like when we realized that, we're like, oh my god! Like so
it was fate.
It was.
Well, before we leave for the night, anybody in the comments that has a question for any of these amazing people, please let us know. I'm going to turn the mic over to Courtney. Courtney, what is going on for season 2? Like anything in store, any plans, any sneak peeks, anything? Is there a season 2?
I'll be honest, I just wanted a break. I just wanted, maybe a couple weeks where I could just chill and not think about this. But I'll say everyone's really, they're thinking. There's definitely going to be a season 2.
Yay!
We're not exactly sure when, or where really. Like it'll be in Michigan, but where in Michigan we're not quite sure. And we're working
maybe a bigger house. Who knows?
More bathrooms.
Yes.
We'll try.
Yes.
Definitely more bathrooms.
Yeah, we're definitely in the preliminary stages at this point. We're just trying to figure out where we want to do it, when, how many people, thinking of more challenges, and when applications will be opening. So it's all still at the very, very, very beginning stages, but it's definitely something we're talking about. So you can keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah,
Nice.
really right now we like I mentioned earlier, we asked the cast to fill out like a little survey on information on what they thought for improvements and stuff. So we're just kind of absorbing what we get coming in, and we're gonna, think on them, and then we'll come back as a production team and go over things and see what we want to do in terms of changes and moving forward. So that's kind of the stage we're in right now.
Hannah, anything on your live game resume coming up?
I have Mayhem Manor, season 4 in October. And besides that, I've had to drop out of a game or 2 this year, so Mayhem might be the only thing you see me in.
Oh, we're looking forward to seeing you on your next time. Anything that you're looking to do, maybe that you're looking to get cast in?
Yeah, I really want to play Clark's Root of All Evil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That seems really fun. And I'm down for another mole game in about a year because I'm still not over this one. I don't want people to talk to me. I've been ignoring everyone's messages for the past week. So
no, whenever this game was cast, like this was supposed to be the first mole game I was going to play. I knew I wanted to do Victory House, but like I thought it was going to be with the timing that it would be this last May and then Victory House this past March. So whenever I got pushed, when I did Victory House, it was like, 2 months later doing another mole game. I was like, I can't. Like my brain's gonna die. Like, yeah. So
I'm curious, Hannah, and I'll do this to Sabrina as well. Hannah, did you ever think Sabrina was the mole? Was Sabrina ever shady with you?
Oh, I never thought it was Sabrina, but I definitely did tell people it was Sabrina.
Shady, shady.
I thought it was Ben. I never thought it was Ben, but I told people that.
yeah, I totally thought it was Ben. Oh my gosh.
Sabrina, about Hannah, did you ever suspect Hannah being the mole?
No, and it was so funny. Like there was one point where she pulled me in the bedroom and she made me pinky promise that I was not the mole, and I was like, I'm not the mole, and I was like, I know you're not the mole either. Like let's figure this out. No,
So
I think
cute.
the only woman I think I thought the mole was Sarah.
It was Sarah. I thought
Yeah.
maybe we could have had potential, but my sights were on Sarah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know that Courtney dropped a bomb and she said that the cast scores are out on the Michigan Mole website. Matt, as the remote person here, how does anybody find out about Michigan Mole?
You just basically keep your eyes peeled on the Michigan Mole Facebook page. That is where pretty much everything gets posted and updated. So again, expect there to be a bit of time before some things come out for season 2, because let's be honest, we think we all need a break a bit. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of fun, but I think we just want to chill for a little bit. So, but yeah, you'll see more information about season 2 in the summer.
And then
Just
we have the
sometime this summer.
Mole chiming in. Love you all. Thank you, Mole. For anybody that is interested in these live reality games, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube, youtube.com/live reality games. Also on Facebook, search live reality games. When we do hit 500 mark, we got a few buffs for the little summer season coming up, special edition. So make sure to follow along, and we'll put that contest up as soon as possible. Everyone in production, all the players out there, Hannah, Sabrina, and Nick, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to hang out on this weekend and go over such a fantastic season. Anybody, feel free to watch the Michigan Mole on Facebook for anything that you may have missed, behind the scenes stuff, and check out the player scores. So till then, everyone have a great weekend and enjoy Memorial Day. All right.